Well, hey fans, welcome back to another movie review, and today we're talking about Tron Ares. So before I get to the rest of the review, I'd like to thank the sponsor for this video, MoviePass. So MoviePass is back and it's better than ever. It's a subscription-based ticketing service, and I've been using it for a few months now, and I just think it's great. And they have this neat new black card, and it feels great, and it's very easy to use. And unlike your AMC A-List or your Regal Unlimited, you can use MoviePass at almost any theater, and it is very simple to use. They now go off of a points-based system, so you pay every month, and that will vary depending on the market that you live in, and you'll get a certain amount of points to use for movies. And the price in terms of points for the movies varies depending on the day of the week that you go to the theater, the time of the showing, and how recently the movie has been released. So what you'll do is you'll go into the app, you'll click the movie that you want to see, unlock the card, and then pay. You can also pick the online option for just a few more points if you don't want to wait in line. So again, thank you to MoviePass. So Tron Ares is a sci-fi action film directed by Joachim Rønning, starring Jared Leto, Greta Lee, Evan Peters, Jodie Turner-Smith, Jeff Bridges, Gillian Anderson, to many other names. And it follows this program named Ares, who's on a search for the permanence code that would allow digital beings to exist in the real world permanently. And I have to say, I'm a big fan of the Tron franchise. The first film, not so much, only because it was ahead of its time, and the graphics in that movie are the best that they can do during the 80s. But when Tron Legacy came out, directed by Joseph Kosinski, I was super excited to see that movie. I was like, now's the time that we can actually make a Tron movie that would look good. And wow, that film blew me away. Like, to this day, I think it is one of the best sci-fi films ever made. It just looks great. And we all saw that ending with Cora and Sam in the real world. We're like, when are we going to get a sequel? Unfortunately, we never got one until now. And even now, the sequel that we get is more of a follow-up and not a true sequel. And I have to say, I enjoyed the film. I enjoyed Tron Ares. I enjoyed what I saw. And I saw it in IMAX, and it is amazing to watch in IMAX. And for the first time, we actually get the digital programs in the real world. We get to see what that is like. Jared Leto as Ares, he is the main star of the film. I have to say, he actually did a wonderful job. Jared Leto very much gives off this robotic type of personality that I think worked well for the character. He was also kind of funny in the way that he delivered his lines. So I really enjoyed the way he communicated with other characters, his strength, his vulnerability, all of that. I think that he did very well. Jodie Turner-Smith as Athena, who was like his second in command, that was a great villainous role for her. She very much gave off the vibes that Clue 2 had in Tron Legacy, and I really enjoyed the way she played that character. She plays her AI exactly like what you would think like the Terminator is, what a computer program would be if you gave them a directive, and they can only see that you can actually complete that directive in one way, and they will stop at nothing until they get that done. So that was great. Greta Lee, and I love me some Greta Lee. I think she was miscast in this movie. I don't think that she portrayed the character of Eve Kim very well. She just seemed out of place. Even when she was reading her lines, it just did not flow with the rest of the movie. And I was disappointed by it, that I thought, man, you got Greta Lee in it, I'm really going to enjoy her role. And she was like my least favorite part of the movie. Like I said, I really leaned towards Jared Leto and Jodie Turner-Smith. And I wish that we got more of them. I wish that we got more of the Dillinger, world that we saw like in Tron Legacy with the grid. I wish we got to see the system that they played in just a little more. Because I think Tron, the franchise, it does better when you're in a digital world. Bringing it to the real world is a fun experiment, but if we ever get a follow-up, I would like to go back there. And speaking of Dillinger systems, unfortunately, Cillian Murphy is not back as Edward Dillinger Jr. in this movie. Instead, we got Evan Peters as Julian Dillinger, who I guess technically is his nephew, because Gillian Anderson portrays his mother, Elizabeth Dillinger. Now, we don't know if that's like Ed Dillinger Jr.'s sister or wife or however that works, but Julian Dillinger, he is the main villain. And Evan Peters does a great job. He does a great job with Julian Dillinger. He's more like your tech bro type of villain, very much like a Mark Zuckerberg type villain. And I think he did a good job. I really enjoyed his role. They tease a very important storyline for him if they ever get a sequel that I really did enjoy. There was a dark turn or a dark choice that he made, I want to say probably like a third of the way through the film, that really didn't make sense. And I kind of wish we got to explore his relationship with Eve Kim more in the film. And I think that would have, done a lot to help the story. And speaking of Gillian Anderson, like her character of Elizabeth Dillinger, I feel like she was really in this movie just to pick up a check. I don't know if she was like a necessary character that we needed to move the plot forward. I guess we just needed to see more of the Dillinger family, and I just feel like I don't know that we needed her and Julian in the same movie. And like I said, the movie's good and I enjoyed it. The story is not that great. It's pretty much, we need a thing, let's get the thing, we got the thing, that's it. It is a very straight line, a very simple story, and that was fine for me because everything else looked great. The visual effects looked amazing. The score, the soundtrack was great. 9 Inch Nails, amazing. Amazing job taking over for Daft Punk. And they do not try to replicate what Daft Punk did. They do not try to make the same type of techno music. It is a very different, very chaotic, robotic, fun sound. It is like on a totally different spectrum of that type of music, but I really enjoyed it because it flowed with the film. And I remember when I saw Challengers for the first time, they did the score for that movie. And when those tennis matches started going, I started hearing those beats go and those, melodies. I was like, you know what? If Daft Punk really isn't coming back for another Tron movie, they would be perfect for it. And I'm very glad they got the job. Now, is this movie as good as Tron Legacy? The answer is no. It is not as good as Tron Legacy. Joseph Kosinski did something very magical with that movie. He's the king of legacy sequels, having done Tron Legacy and Top Gun Maverick. And if Tron Legacy is a 10 out of 10, I think I will give Tron Ares a 7.5 out of 10. That's what I thought about this movie. It's very decent, very enjoyable. I wish that it were doing better because, like I said, I want a fourth Tron movie, mainly because I want that story with Sam and Cora and Kevin. I want all of that to be wrapped up nicely in a neat little bow so I can say I'm done with this franchise. Not that I want to be done. Like I said, I want as many Tron movies as I can. I think this is a hidden gem that Disney doesn't quite know how to grasp. Like, this could be bigger than Star Wars, in my opinion, if they did it right. And I think the only way to do that right, even though I think Joachim Rønning did a great job rebooting this franchise, so like a soft reboot, same thing we do with Pirates of the Caribbean. I think you need to bring Joseph Kosinski back. I think you need to bring him back as a director and not as an executive producer. He is the magic behind this franchise that can keep it going. And I know he's pretty busy. He's got like a few movies coming up, but I would snag him down early. See if you can taper down that budget just a little bit, give people some, points on the back end, and just make a great Tron finale. And then from there on, they can do as many spinoffs as they'd like. And Jeff Bridges back as Kevin Flynn. That's one thing that bugs me just a little bit about this movie. Not bugging me in a bad way. I want the Kevin Flynn that appears in this movie. He appears on like a old system, but he still looks old. So is this a continuation of the Kevin Flynn who sacrificed himself at the end of the last movie and died in the grid? Or is this a different copy of him or a different backup? He's mentioned in the movie that he's like an aspect of Kevin Flynn who appears because Ares is looking for him. But I wish they could explore that more. Is he like a ghost in the machine now? What is he? And there's like a lot of things I wish they had explored more in this movie. Like when they print these digital beings in real life, like are they printing them with organs? Are they printing them with like blood? Like what's up with that? And another like big detail, and I don't want to run on too long, but the fact that they are creating these digital beings in real life is not seen as this great big miracle. Even though they have like this 29-minute timer that they can't beat, they can also send real things into the digital world, which is another amazing thing that could end world hunger because you can make more space for people indefinitely. And there's a show called Pantheon. If you have not seen Pantheon, watch it. Tron, the whole franchise, reminds me of Pantheon. It's on Netflix. It's on like AMC Plus and Amazon. Check it out if you can. That's great. And last but not least, Tron Ares is a terrible title. It should have been called Tron Permanence because they're looking for the permanence code, and I think that would have boosted it just a little bit. But I thank you guys again for joining me for this movie review. You can find the full review on YouTube and the website, flipfrogllc.com/flixfrog. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit. And please, pretty please, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, I'll be seeing you.